G'day guys, welcome back. It is Monday the 5th of Feb today, and you guys are tuned back into another episode of Lock Valley Farms. Just completed the long commute to work. Alright guys, what we got here is a new set of nozzles for the sprayer, mainly for summer spraying. So these are a compact fan air tilt nozzle. They're angled like 10 or 15 degrees, I can't remember, but basically what they're supposed to be really good at is penetrating into long stubbles with summer spraying or into crop canopies. So if you're doing a fungicide application or something like that, you're trying to get a bit of penetration into the crop, that's what these are supposed to be really good for. So the main reason that I got these is because I wanted to go from a very coarse droplet size to an extra coarse or above droplet size for summer spraying. Minimum requirements say that we got to have a very coarse droplet size, and that basically just means that your droplets are bigger and they can handle, you know, they're going to survive longer in warmer conditions, which is what we're dealing with when we're summer spraying. So we've got a triplex nozzle bodies here. What we're going to do is we're going to flip these bad boys around. We're going to take, well look, some of them don't have anything on the third one anyway, but we're going to flip them around. We're going to flush the tank out, get that nice and clean, put some really fresh water in there. Flip these around, run some water through the boom, and then we're going to put our new nozzles on and give them a run and see how they go. So yeah, look, most of our summer spraying is nearly done, but I got these because I haven't been overly impressed with the results of some of our summer spraying, and I feel like going to a heavier droplet size will help. So when you're dealing with plants that are stressed or it's been really warm, you want to get as much of those droplets down onto the plant as possible. And so that's what we should achieve more of with an extra coarse droplet size. So the idea of the tilt on these is it's supposed to counteract some of the forward momentum, and then when the droplets get down to the plant, it's supposed to be providing more of a vertical droplet rather than it maybe being blown back by the wind or whatever. I'm not sure of the exact science, but is it gonna work? Is it gonna do a better job? Well, I just paid $750 for the privilege of finding out, so let's do it. Right, that is looking mint, nice and clean. We'll run 100 litres through the boom. I have already flushed it, but I just want to make sure it's doubly clean. Might shut everything down then, put our nozzles in our caps and spin our nozzle bodies over, and yeah, then I'll probably run a bit through the nozzle bodies because without the caps on, because I know if I just spin them and put them on, they'll just block the nozzles up. There'll be some sort of crud in there that will cause me dramas. Just want to make sure everything's nice and clean. I don't want to be mucking around down there if there's any chemical or anything. So, right, now for the time-consuming part. We got to get all of these into these. Got to do that 2 more times now. Turned this one and she just snapped clean off, so a few of these are getting a bit old and brittle. Probably wouldn't hurt to replace quite a few of them, but they're not cheap. Surprisingly enough, just like everything else in agriculture. A wise man once told me that farmers are the donkey that everybody rides on. And I tell you what, they're not far wrong. Well, that turns so much easier than some of these old ones. Oh. Some of these are a bit crusty, so I'm just giving them a little tickle up with the toothbrush here, just to clean a bit of the crud off. And then hopefully the new caps will go on and we won't have any blockages. That's the plan anyway. So we're just going to run a bit of fresh water through those nozzle bodies with the caps off now, just to make sure there's no crud in there that is going to block up my new nozzles. I'm just going to do one at a time. Oh yeah. Okay, now for the easy bit, which is just clipping on the new ones. Now, these have an arrow on them because they're angled. So I've got to make sure, basically that writing's got to be pointing towards the front. But these little guys are absolutely everything when it comes to spraying. They control your droplet size, the speed you can run at what pressure. So they are really, really critical. Well, we can't catch a break here at Lock Valley Farms. You know how I talk about getting the wrong parts all the time? Well, today is no different, my friends. No different at all. Let me get two caps here. So I never twigged when I was putting these in, basically. If you look here, I don't even know how to explain this to you. Here's the easiest way. Here's a nozzle cap with a blue nozzle in it. See how the nozzle just goes in there? There's no room for it to move around or anything like that. It's just in one spot. We'll have a look at these ones here. They can go, so I could spin that around 90 degrees and it would go in the other way, and then I can grab the nozzle tip and I can move it. So then when I'm screwing these on, these nozzles are not pointing in the right direction at all. So I rang the supplier and he said, yep, we've stuffed up and we've sent you the wrong one. So yay us. I am sufficiently annoyed by that, let me tell you. The best part is that supplier is in WA, so I don't know when I'll see those caps, but anyway. Well, I think what we might do now is head over the road and in the loader, and we'll go get the spreader. We'll bring that back here because we're going to have gypsum and lime to spread. The big Louis gong, like the loader, that's been broken down for like 2 months, which I didn't realise it was still broken down, but Dad was pulling some trees out of the new place and one of the branches or something managed to come back and hit something on the air dryer for the air system, and it's broken a valve on there. So we're waiting on some parts for that to actually get that going again, because, well, that's what we use to load the spreader. But as soon as we get that going, I'd like to start getting stuck into spreading a bit of that lime, because the paddocks that we're spreading the lime on, there's not going to be any more sheep or anything run through them, so we can get into it and get it done. It's just, jobs like that, you just want to get them off your mind as soon as possible. Oh, I should have left that gate open for days on end, and how are the sheep still in here? Yeah.
No, I was wondering because going down the bitumen, I see tracks in, and then I remembered.
Yeah, okay.
It might have been that the sheep were halfway up the track towards the gate.
Well, that never happened. It just lined up perfectly. Well, I came over here and then I looked out in the paddock as I pulled up to the spreader, and I seen Dad driving around in the paddock, and I thought he must have been coming to check the sheep's waters or the sheep water or something like that, and he probably saw the gate open and thought, well, bloody hell, the gate's been open for days on end, and lucky the sheep aren't out. Right, let's boogie home with this thing and give it a bit of a check over. I don't think it'll need too much. I am a bit worried about one of the belts on there, but I'm pretty sure I greased it and everything before I put it in the shed, so see how we go. basically I was heading around to get the spreader and I looked over at this pile of lime and I could see it drifting absolutely everywhere. And if you look at this side of the pile, it's absolutely destroyed. It wasn't like that before, and what happened was Dad told me yesterday that the neighbour's sheep had walked down the road and got into my paddock. Of course the gate was open because the lime had been dropped off. The next paddock was open as well because I'd been in there spraying. So the sheep have been in there, absolutely torn apart my pile of lime there, climbing all over it thinking it's a good old time, and it's just been drifting off in the wind for the last 24 hours. I don't have to tell you guys how much I was a little bit worried about this belt at the back, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with that one, so I don't have to stress about that. Might be worth getting a set of belts for this here, because that is split almost all the way through and it's looking a little bit average, and I reckon it'd be worth having a set of spare belts around for this one. I don't think there'll be a lot else to do to this, to be honest. Might get a new bolt for that. That needs a nip. I don't know what it is about these bolts on the side here. They tend to work a bit loose sometimes. It's just that one there, and the same one on the other side's broken, so might chase up a bolt and a set of belts for this, put it back in the shed, and then when I get those things I can throw them on. Well, all in all, successful trip to town. Got everything I needed and much, much more. So I got a new bolt in the back, got the other side tightened up, new belts on. I think this thing's just about good to go now, so we'll get it all disconnected from this loader and on to the next. Alright, so I have spent probably 45 minutes over in this corner here, just trying to get everything sort of sussed out, cleaned up, refreshing my memory, all that sort of stuff. Because if you've been following along for a while, it was last winter when I pulled this fan and the hydraulic motor that drives the fan off, because that was leaking. You can see this was all filling up with kind of crusty, cruddy, oily dirt in there. So we finally got that back before Christmas. I'm just just trying to get my head around everything, get all of my tools over here and all that sort of stuff so I can put this back together, because this is just one of those jobs I really want it off my mind. So we're going to get this thing back together now. I'm going to have to just clean up a bit of old silicone and that off here. Then we'll get the new, the motor back on there, all bolted up. Hydraulic lines all on, we'll get those back on, and then we can start installing our new fan and the cover and all that sort of stuff, and yeah, we'll get it done. Now I'll tell you guys what, we've got a beautiful week of working weather here at the moment. It's don't think there's going to be a temperature over about 32 for the next 5 or 6 days, so anytime in January or February where you're getting a week of weather where it's under that is just really fantastic. So we're certainly going to be making the most of it this week. Try and knock out as much work outside as we can. all mounted up, so we'll put these hydraulic lines on and then it'll be time for the fan, which is the bit I'm dreading the most. So anyway, we'll see how it all goes. Oh, yes. I sure hope the guys who resealed this fan motor did a good job, because I don't fancy pulling this apart again. So this is without doubt the most annoying part, because there's no real, you know, I've got to set the depth of this fan on this shaft. So you can see this adapter just moves in and out wherever it wants. So I really got to try and get this right. I don't want it to be too close to this housing, too close to the housing I'm going to put on, but I've got to have it close enough to the speed sensor as well. So yeah, we're going to see how we go with it. See how it kind of fits with this housing over the top. Spinning free as a bird. And we should be good, guys. I'm pretty happy with that. But you know how we're going to find out? We're going to start seeding one day and I'm going to know if it's doing the right job or if it flies apart. Bit of sealant on there, we'll get that cover back on. We're just about done. Alright guys, she's all back together, got the hose back on there for the air inlet, so just want to connect this up to a tractor in the coming days, give this a run, make sure it sounds good, no leaks, nothing like that. Then I just got to get the hitch back on the front, and this air seeder is ready for seeding, which is absolutely awesome. So with all that being said, that is all I've got for you guys for this episode. I just want to say thank you for watching the videos. Without you guys, none of this would be possible, so we really do appreciate it. You guys have yourselves a good one. Until next time, see ya.